everyone, and welcome back to News for the Science, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. My name is Ronnie, and welcome back to another amazing Marvel Spider-Man 2 video. We're pretty much going to be talking about Insomniac Games' update on the classic villain, and that is the new design and pretty much his origins. We're going to get into all those details in just a sec, but before we do that, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and click on the bell notifications so you all don't miss anything. Join my Discord. The invitation link to that is in the description box below, along with the links to the rest of my social media, which you can also find the links to down in the description box below. You can't miss it. Anyways, this is actually coming from Entertainment Weekly, of all publishers, talking about the updates and what we can expect in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Specifically, this one's focusing on Venom, and this is really exciting. I know that all the Spidey content creators out there that you probably saw talking about this, or they already spoke about it, and I'm a little late to the party, but hey, I was working, I had to take care of other things and run some errands, but I'm sorry I'm getting late to it, but at least I'm talking about it. So here we go. Coming to you from Entertainment Weekly, casting Venom for Marvel Spider-Man 2 proved to be freakier than the character himself for Brian Intihar, Senior Creative Director at Insomniac Games. It was one of those things I was avoiding for as long as possible because I was so scared of who we were going to get to do the voice, he tells EW. Despite having spearheaded one of the most popular blockbuster video games of the past decade, the previous Spidey game of 2018 that sold 33 million copies as of June 2022, Intihar acknowledges, "We knew it would be so anticipated and people would have a lot of opinions on it." Enter Tony Todd, the actor of stage and screen known for The Crow, The Rock, The Man from Earth, and, of course, for portraying the horror icon known as Candyman, while looking to cast the Venom role in a highly anticipated sequel, which brings Peter Parker, voiced by Yuri Lowenthal, and Miles Morales and Ajay Jeter together again with Mary Jane Watson, Laura Bailey. Intihar heard a few lines of Todd's deep, growling voice in the trailer for 2021's Candyman. It just so happened that Todd had also submitted an audition tape for Marvel Spider-Man 2. Everything we talked about with Venom, that sense of strength, that sense of fear, that sense of overwhelming, so different from Peter, Tony embraces that completely in the performance, Intihar says. EW can exclusively reveal a new look at Venom in Marvel Spider-Man 2, which will be available on October 20th by way of the PlayStation 5 console, before Intihar heads to San Diego Comic-Con, which is actually tomorrow at the time of me making this video, to promote the title on the Hall H Grand Stage with Senior Narrative Director John Paquette and Senior Art Director Jacinda Chu. All three spoke with EW about creating a unique take on the classic villain of Marvel Comics. It's really interesting when you start thinking about what makes him different than Spider-Man, Chu says. The symbiote is often known as an allegory for the darkness that the host is fighting against. So what makes him an anti-Spider-Man? It began with the post-credits scene at the end of the first game, after players worked their way through the story of Peter Parker's battle against a Doc Ock-led Sinister Six, while guiding the young Miles as he becomes a web slinger of his own. They found a short sequence involving Peter's bestie, Harry Osborn. Harry was absent for the events of Marvel Spider-Man, but as Peter and MJ learned through expert sleuthing, he's been secretly undergoing an experimental medical procedure in the hopes of curing him of Austrian syndrome, an illness that claimed his mother's life years earlier. The post-credits scene reveals Harry has been in a stasis chamber in a secret lab in Father Norman Osborn's home, and a symbiote, the alien species, is part of this mystery procedure. Intihar and Paquette are clear fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which popularized the use of post-credit scenes. A separate mid-credits sequence featured Miles revealing his newfound Spidey powers in front of Peter, a moment that segued directly into Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, the 2020 spin-off game centered on the fledgling hero. The Harry and symbiote scene would then serve a similar function to set the stage for Marvel Spider-Man 2. We wanted to try something very different, and I don't think you can get much more different from Doc Ock than you do Venom, Intihar explains. It's about power, it's about strength, it's about being slighted, it's about Peter being involved much more in the creation of Venom, and I think that's what attracted us. And here's an interesting thing to take away from that paragraph. The one comment that actually gets my attention the most is where Intihar states it's about Peter being involved much more in the creation of Venom. We all know that in the comics, Peter Parker wasn't really involved much more, like in the creation of Venom, versus the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. Peter's father and Eddie Brock Sr. was more involved with the creation of the suit. But we learned in the Ultimate comics, it was more of an Earth-based Venom, whereas in the 616 comics, which is the one I really prefer and follow, it was alien-based. And the symbiote suit made its first appearance in Secret Wars number 8, and Venom made its first appearance in the comics of issue at the end of 299, but his actual real appearance was issue 300. That's considered his first appearance. And it's really interesting because not only do we learn that Peter Parker is involved with the symbiote suit in this game, there's an alien origin that's tied to this. We don't know much about it, but I'm going to show you at the very end of this video the confirmation that this version that Insomniac is adapting is in fact alien origin. So one of the things that is great about Spider-Man as a character is that he's always got to make sacrifices, Paquette adds. The symbiote provides a lot of grit for that mill, so to speak. Previous materials released of the game teases a sequel that involves Peter, now infected by the symbiote, as he frantically works with Miles to track down Dr. Kurt Connors, which is a payoff from yet another post-credit scene from the previous games. It truly is the MCU of gaming, and that's actually a nice name for it. Dr. Connors has the ability to help Harry's condition, but he's dealing with his own transformation into the monstrous lizard. Other familiar Marvel characters like Kraven the Hunter will be popping up as well. And according to Paquette, the story is about what happens when that darkness takes over. It's not just Peter who's impacted by the symbiote, it's the loved ones and family around the host who has had to see what's happening to the person that they love, he adds. There's a lot of juicy drama that we can get from that. And in fact, we can get a lot of juicy drama indeed. And it's going to be a roller coaster of emotions because we're going to see how the symbiote affects Peter Parker, not only just him, but everyone around him, as probably Peter Parker is either going to turn on them or just cast them aside because he's going to feel like all he needed was the symbiote after all. And that's definitely going to create a lot of drama, perhaps maybe even loss. A lot of people are already thinking that we're going to be expecting some deaths in this one. Just like the major Marvel Spider-Man titles that we've gotten from the past, we've lost some people. And I think we can expect that in the sequel, obviously. And as for the look of Venom, Chu confirms that there are specific story details that had a direct impact on the character's design. The spider insignia is one of them. And one of the challenges we had throughout production was, how much does Venom talk? And she says, I remember we did some concepts earlier of, does Venom have lips? Does he laugh? Does he smile? Does he frown? It's a fine line between making this creature scary and intimidating, but then also, I guess, relatable. For us, Venom is this host plus the symbiote into our ads. You don't get Venom without both of them being bonded together. What Tony represents is that bond, and I think if anything, casting Tony made us feel more confident in the visual design of the character. And one wish that I do have for Venom is that I want him to be really a well-rounded character. I don't want him to be this one-dimensional monstrous villain with no emotion, with nothing about him that's relatable. I want him to have a whole wide range of emotions, from anger to scary to, I guess, maybe a little bit funny, but maybe dial down on the comedic aspects of Venom, because lately Venom has been very comedic. If you do read any of the Donny Cates comic books, they're actually a little bit more darker than the usual classic Venom spin-off solo series comics from like the past. And the Venom movies, of course, is kind of a bit of a joke. They are decent and they're entertaining to watch, but they're not by all means great, amazing movies. But I really do hope that this Venom is taken back to its roots, where he's more horrific and scary and nothing but just antagonizing to Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and Miles Morales, of course. And lastly, like I mentioned earlier before, I do want to bring this up. This is a tweet from the Redacted guy, which I have featured in a previous video, and I can't remember which one it was. But this tweet says, so Insomniac's Venom symbiote is an alien and not a creation of Oscorp, which to me was pretty exciting because I had preferred that it was an alien, but I was also thinking that they may go with the Earth-based science route. But in this case, it's an alien, and I'm proud to announce that. So a lot of you guys already probably figured that out. But here on the tweet from this capture from the Redacted guy, it says here that the post-credit scene reveals Harry has been in a stasis chamber in a secret lab in Father Norman Osborn's home, and a symbiote, the alien species, is part of this mystery procedure. Which, again, I think I already mentioned that before, but I just wanted to reiterate it once again. This is really exciting, and Venom looks amazing in this picture. This is an in-game capture, and let me just say, I'm just impressed with the design, especially that crazy, nasty, monstrous spider insignia that's wrapped all over his chest and his back. His mouth is gigantic, and so are his gnarly teeth, and his eyes are like really intimidating, and he's just a hulking beast. I love how like his skin looks like black and oily, and that's a real representation of what the symbiote is from the comics and of course the games. But Man, this is a very gnarly design. I love how like there's a little bit of inspiration. I'm going to assume that they drew inspiration from Spider-Man Web of Shadows, but they did their own mix, because if you look a little closer in the Spider-Man insignia or the white spider insignia on him, on Venom, you can see that there are little like black lines that make the spider insignia look like it's actually cracking. There's like little black blotches and patches and lines running all over the insignia. And I gotta say, it is a sick design, and the rain hitting Venom is only the cherry on top, which makes him pop out more. This is truly exciting. I can't wait to play Marvel Spider-Man 2, guys. You let me know your thoughts about his design and the details about this character. And are you excited for San Diego Comic-Con 2023 tomorrow? Of course you are. Stupid question. But as always, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notifications so y'all don't miss anything. And as always, I will see you all in the next comic panel.